this is Financial Flow. Over here, we talk about all things personal finance, and right now I'm focusing on savings goals and bank bonuses. So today we're going to get into a bank bonus, but more specifically, a bank bonus that might be in your mailbox right now. And I'm going to break down the process of my analysis of that bank bonus, and you can see my approach and see if it might work for you, or just if you're curious to know how I establish what's good enough, what is enough money for me to pursue it, and how I actually achieve receiving the bank bonus. Please stick around and enjoy. Okay, first things first, let's check the mail. So recently, I received this bonus in the mail from Chase Bank, and no, this is not sponsored. Literally just got this in the mail, and it, tells you to look inside for the details. So if you open it, you'll see there's a lot of fine print here. But this is important, and this is key to whether or not you can achieve the bank bonus. So you see, I break down all of this information here, and I will write it out so I don't have to read this to you. But whenever you get something like this in the mail, whether it's in the form of like a coupon sheet, something like this, that's just a one-pager, or if you get one that has more details, you want to pay attention to this information. That's going to tell you everything you need to know. How quickly you can get your bonus, how much it's going to be, if there are any fees, so on and so forth. So this is very important. In this particular bank bonus, what do we know already, right? It's Chase Bank. What it doesn't say on the outside is that this is for the checking account. Now, I'm going to stop right here. I have type of account here. You might have seen in my videos, majority of the bank bonuses are for checking accounts, but they can also be for savings accounts. They can be for brokerages. They can be for CDs. They can even be for credit cards. And you're probably more likely to see those where they give you so many points for signing up, or they offer like extra cash back or things of that nature. Same thing, just different accounts. So the requirements for this particular bonus, it is required to have direct deposit. So that is not always a requirement, which is why it is on the list, because you need to know what you need to do in order to get the bonus. In this particular case, you are required to get direct deposit. And then the bonus, as we saw on the outside, was $225. There is no minimum opening deposit, but you are required to have the direct deposit. And I consider that money to be savings because it's just going in the accounts, and I'm not going to use all the checking accounts that I opened. They're simply there to achieve an end, and then all my money comes to me when I close the account. But because a direct deposit is required, you can make that amount whatever you want. So I'm going to skip this for now, the biweekly deposit and the number of pay periods and the total deposit. I'm going to skip that for now because there's something important about this Chase checking account. It has a monthly fee. So this monthly maintenance, that's for the fee. And for this account, that is $12. So if you don't meet the requirements, which I'm going to go over in a second, you will end up basically paying Chase Bank $12 a month if you don't meet the requirements. The reason why I skipped the biweekly information to tell you this is because based on the amount of your direct deposit, this can be waived. Okay, so that's why you want to read the fine print, because it might seem really good. They might be offering you even say 100% return, but there may be minimums that you have to meet, or they can charge you a monthly fee. I generally do not bank for my actual banking needs. I don't bank with banks that have monthly fees, for the simple fact that life happens, so you may not always meet those requirements. But with my bank bonuses, I have already established my budget to make sure if I pursue a bank bonus that I have what I need to achieve that it falls within my budget. I have enough, right? So back to what I was saying. If you don't meet the requirements, it's $12 a month. And what are those requirements? It is either have direct deposit, right, of $500 or more per month, have a balance of $1,500 or more, or to keep an average beginning day balance of $5,000 or more in any combination of Chase accounts. So I do not have any other Chase accounts, and it wouldn't make sense to transfer $1,500 into this account to meet option 2 because direct deposit is still required. So I'm going to have to set up the direct deposit anyway. So what I'm going to do, since I get paid bi-weekly, I'm going to take that $500 and split it into 2. So my bi-weekly deposit is $250. That's per check. So that will get me to the $500 per month that's required. Now, I will also say that this monthly maintenance fee is sometimes waived for 2 or 3 statements in the beginning, but it is not always. So again, you got to read that fine print. I know it's really little. It's a lot of information. They also will have it on the website, all of the details that you need to be tracking related to this bonus and the things you need to do. So again, I don't want to be charged $12 a month. I'm going to deposit $250 per check into this account. And how many pay periods will I do that for? Because essentially, you really only need to do it one time. And that would be a great return on your money. So if you only put in, if you get $225 on a $250 deposit, that's a 90% return if you just do one check, right? But then you also have to subtract that $12, which they may not charge you if you do it in the first month, but you also don't want to close your account too early because they may pull the bonus back. So to err on the side of caution, I generally keep the accounts at least 6 months unless it explicitly says a longer time. For example, a lot of them will say 12 months or they'll take the bonus back. So to err on the side of caution, I'm going to make sure that, one, I don't have to keep this direct deposit going because it could go to other bonuses, bonuses or things of that nature. But I do want to make sure I don't get charged this at any point. So what I would do, remember option 2 was to have $1,500 as your starting balance. And again, I'm not using any of the money in this until I close the account, and then I'll consolidate it into the accounts I actually use. So that $250 times 6 equals $1,500. So I'm going to do this for 6 pay periods, which is basically 3 months. And then that way I meet the first requirement and the second requirement to not get charged that $12 fee. But now I've put in a lot more money than $250. So 225 divided by the $1,500 I would put in, that is now a 15% return. So $1,500 for the total deposit. The return is now 15%. So with my current bank, my interest rate is 4.25%. It just went down. So that is beating what I would get if I had that same amount of money in my account. For example, if I put $1,500 in my account that only gives me 4.25%, and I kept it there for a year, I would get $163.75. So that number is less than the $225. And then keep in mind that $225 is only there for 3 months or 6 checks. This would take me 12 months. This is only 3 months. So really and truly, if I do this 4 times a year, right? Different banks, whatever, we're just gonna say the 225, that's $900 compared to the 163.75 that I would get just in interest at my regular bank. That's over 5 times, that's over 5 times as much money by doing the bank bonuses. And that is why I do it. But back to this. So because it's a checking account, the APR is not even worth talking about. Minimum account holding period. Again, I say I do this for at least 6 months just to make sure they don't take the bonus back. And then the minimum balance, they don't have a minimum balance per se, but again, to avoid the $12 maintenance, that would be $1,500. And this opened is whether I opened it or not and the date. For this particular bonus, I did not open this one because I had already opened a Chase bonus. And in the fine print, you'll see you can only have one Chase bonus within a 3-year period unless if you've closed it within 90 days or you've had a negative balance when closing, then there are restrictions on whether or not or how quickly you can open another one. Also, you can only have one bonus per account. So this particular account was total checking. They have different checking like names or categories or whatever. So I probably couldn't get a total checking bonus again. But if I open whatever another account is, say a premier checking or something like that, whatever it's called, then I could potentially get a bonus there. So that's why the fine print is important. And that's why I tend to schedule my bank bonuses so I know when to expect the bonus, when to close the account, and when can I do it again. It's rinse and repeat on these. There are a couple of banks that don't allow that. For example, TD Bank, you can only get one like ever per type of account. And I think I've previously got one for checking and savings. So I don't think I can get another TD bonus ever unless they change the fine print. So I still look every now and then just to see if they've updated that. But Chase does allow you to get another bonus. So for me, no, I didn't open it, but I would if I was eligible for this. So yeah, that's just an example of my analysis of a bank bonus, me going through the fine print and what that looks like and what the outcome would be. As you can see, you make a lot more money this way in a regular bank account than you would if you were just going by interest alone. And I don't know if you've noticed, because like I said, it was 4.35%. Now it's down to 4.25%. Excuse me, my braces are in the way. But with that, you can see interest rates dropping. So you're not going to get as high of a return as you have in previous years or previous months. Like interest rates got really, really good. Some were doing 5+% on regular savings accounts. But as you can see over time, they're getting lower and lower. That means inflation is changing. The interest rate is changing. So now you're going to see interest rates at banks go down for savings accounts, but also you're going to see the interest rates go down on loans. So for everybody out there trying to get a house or a new car, or anything you have to finance, you may see that those interest rates will start to reduce as well as the savings rate goes down. So these are just things to be aware of, things to take into account, and this is how I make my extra money with bank bonuses. So while we're here, just a quarterly update of bank bonuses for 2024. So far this year, I have received January, $405, February, $14, in March, $600, for a total of $1,019 for the first quarter of 2024. So it's looking good. I keep my eyes open for the bonuses. One of these accounts, one or two of these accounts, because this is across 3 accounts. I think 2 of these I actually opened last year and they paid out this year. One I actually opened this year and received almost immediately within weeks. So again, it varies by bank. You gotta look at the fine print. But so far I made an extra $1,000 this quarter. So what would you do with an extra $1,000? You know, what could you do if you had $250 a check you could set aside for bank bonuses? How would that help your life, right? And that's just the bonus, not to mention the money I put into the account to get the bonus. So it's this plus the money I save, because again, I don't spend what's in my new accounts that I'm opening for the bank bonus. I don't touch that money at all. So when I close the account, that still comes back to me. So that's that 1,000 plus all the other money I've saved related to it. What could you do with that extra money? Because remember, that's just for 1 quarter. So $1,500 plus $225. So now that's $1,725 that I didn't have before that I can put towards one of my savings goals. So I know it's not for everybody. It depends on your budget. It depends on what you have going on. But if you can, I highly recommend bank bonuses. I don't feel like it's talked about enough. And I know there are factors involved of whether or not you will participate. 1, your budget. Do you have the extra money to set aside? And you can use these accounts. I just choose not to. I use them for savings, but you can still use the money that's in there. So for example, if you had $500 going per month to the account, but you actually still needed that money, you've met the requirement of the direct deposit, and they will send you a debit card if you want one, and you can still spend. So don't feel like you can't use your money if you need to with big bonuses. You absolutely can. I just choose not to. So another thing to consider is whether or not you can open up multiple accounts, direct deposit, with your job. So I saw a video recently, I want to say it was Dear Debt, but I'll look it up. And she was saying how her husband's job won't allow multiple banks for direct deposit, and she didn't want to risk the setting up the bonus and then messing up his paycheck because it could take a while to process. So for them, the bank bonus didn't make sense because they don't have the ability to do that. For me, it's very easy to set up direct deposit with my job, and I can set up multiple. So it literally takes me seconds to do it. It's easy for me, but that's not the case for everybody, which is why I'm saying, look at your budget, look at your direct deposit setup. If you're self-employed, if you give yourself a W-2, that can still count. Sometimes some banks have something called like the enhanced direct deposit. So they'll take Zelle or PayPal or something like that and count it as a direct deposit in order for you to get the bonus. You just have to read the fine print and see what qualifies. If you get any government benefits or anything like that, that can count as direct deposit too, whether that's Social Security or something. So it just depends on what your situation is, what your budget looks like, and if you're able to set up the direct deposits. Mind you, all of them don't require direct deposits. Some are literally just a deposit, because there are savings bonuses where they say, hey, move your money over here and we'll give you X amount of dollars. It's literally just a transfer, and they'll give you money to keep your money there. Why? Because the banks need your money to make money, right? So that's the whole point of these bonuses, but it's still your money. It's still FDIC insured, unless you do the brokerages, then that's a separate thing. But it's analyze your situation and then make a decision. All of the bonuses aren't going to be $225. Some are $100. For example, there's one with Alliant Credit Union where you put in $100 a month for a year, and then they give you $100. So that's not a lot of money. You can do $50 a check, but after a year, you've saved $1,200, and then you get an extra $100. That would be great if you're the type of person that needs to save for Christmas or likes to save for Christmas. I don't buy a lot of gifts around Christmas, so that's not like one of my sinking funds. But for people that do, setting that up in like October for the following Christmas. That way the money is there when you need it for Black Friday or, you know, things of that nature. And again, you can actually spend that money too, but you just have to have the direct deposit of the $100 per month to get the $100 bonus at the end. But that's $50 a check and you get $100. So there are bonuses for credit unions, big banks, online banks, all sorts of things. I try to, you know, put some out there that I've heard of that, you know, are either outrageous or amazing, just so you guys can see that not all are created equal and that there are, you know, options out there. So just do your research, see what works for your life. Make sure you budget. The budget has to come first, because there's no point in setting yourself up to not be able to pay your bills because you want a bonus. The bonus is not worth you getting behind on anything. So make sure you have your priorities in order. Do your bonus, check your direct deposit requirements with your job, and then see if it works for you. See if you want to keep the account 6 months or longer, or if you can afford to do that. If you want to, like I have a schedule for my accounts. If you're not good with keeping up with those sorts of things, those accounts would just sit there forever. And that doesn't help you, right? So if you're not organized enough, it may not work for you. And that's totally fine. Everybody doesn't have to do this. It's not for everybody. This is not something that is 100% across the board. Anybody can do it. Should everybody have a savings account? Sure. Should they do bank bonuses? It depends, right? So yeah, that's a very long-winded version of, is it worth it? In this case, I would participate, but I'm not eligible, which is one of those things you guys need to consider when you do this. Are you taking out your eligibility for future money? But I say all that to say, if you get something like this in the mail that says, hey, we have this offer, right? Maybe look at it before you throw it away. It may not be junk mail. It might be something that can change your holidays, or, you know, help you reach a goal, or a donation, or anything of that nature, right? A birthday, a trip. It might just be your ticket and you thought it was junk mail. So you never know, right? All right, y'all have a good one. I know I've been MIA. I have moved. I got braces. I got all the things. So I will have another video where I'm going over my new savings goals and what I have going on. So yeah, I'm just glad to be back, glad to be here with you all, and I hope you stayed to the end. Even though I was rambling, it's been a while, you guys. I'm a little rusty, but I'm back and hopefully better than ever. So I will talk to y'all soon. Have a great day. Bye.